Hello, I'm Joyce E Okello from Inner Tuition Life and Akim Kajarete Community Connection. This topic that I've just come across, and in terms of the title to this video, I would just highlight an understanding or an inspiration of how it is I've come up with the title. I thought of the images that the media is showing about the coronavirus, and they're showing Asians mostly, which for me creates a complete relation to the epidemic towards Asians per se. But let me tell you something. In Asia, they're not only Asians that make up that population. They are other cultures that make up Asia. So in terms of discrimination, I was thinking of linking the particular topic or title to discrimination. So I thought of imaging in the media, which is discrimination, really. And there are news captions that highlight situations taking place in Asia or China in particular. And I'm not saying that's discrimination itself, but when we're talking about the illness or the virus in other regions of the world, we're still looking at Asians in our depiction, in our coverage. So, and yet we all understand that it's not only Asians falling ill to this virus. So it has become, as the World Health Organization has put it, an epidemic. So in looking at my title to the video, I looked at discrimination, but it didn't come, the word didn't come through. And I'm very intuitive. I do research. I also speak from experience. My expressions are from experience. My news coverages are from experience. But discrimination wasn't a word that came forth. So what came forth was the word discriminant, and I've never used that word before. So I decided to look it up on the internet and the meaning, and it came up in mathematics. Mathematics uses it. And according to the internet sources, the discriminant tells us whether there are two solutions, one solution or no solution, which to me made sense in what it is I looked at in the situation with the coronavirus or any particular dysfunction. But this is a world epidemic. So let's focus on it, and let's not try to minimize the seriousness of it. I know I've met a few people who try to, I think it is a survival mechanism as well, try to dilute the focus of the issue. And yet the World Health Organization is calling it a world epidemic. I mean, these are specialists in that area, so they know. And we also observe it as well. When you go to grocery shops, there's shelves that are empty. Even on the street, this has been going on for a while. In the shopping centers, there are not that many people visible carrying out their daily activities as previously. there has been a change. Let's not confuse ourselves. Let's get down to reality. And in getting down to reality, you get down to acceptance, which I'll talk about later. But what it is get down to reality. In that moment of it, you will start to open your eyes to an understanding whereby there is, as the definition looks at, a solution or no solution. The difference between a solution or no solution is whether you accept the current situation. If you cannot accept the current situation, then you don't understand whether there can be a solution or no, or there is, or it isn't there. So how it is, I look at it. The people who, or the some of us who are in denial of the situation may look at it as no solution because they're not going to focus on it hoping that the issue will disappear. But it's not only the figures. I mean, we're looking at visibility in our communities that has changed. So acceptance is key. Discriminant, therefore, is not weighing too heavily then on a particular image then. It is weighing on a solution. Therefore, remove yourselves from depicting or consciously taking on what it is media is pronouncing as the blamer, the Chinese, with this particular world epidemic. That way you will find a solution. If it is you do look at the cultural group as the blamer, there will be no solution. Your energy is focused on blaming, not on resolution. Hi, I'm Joyce Okello from Inner Tuition Life. It's very late at night and I'm just taking in what I've been watching. If you didn't hear me clearly, then watching on the media. I've been keeping up with the news, obviously, like everyone else, concerned about the spread of the coronavirus, but not only that, just it's not only news on my computer, but also just when I say news, videos that have captured news highlights from various news channels. But I also have read news captions. What it is I'm observing at the moment is, especially with imaging, there are a lot of images on news at the moment showing Asians or Chinese, to put it quite precise, when they highlight certain aspects of this virus and the trauma that the whole world really is going through. It's not only China, it's across board or across a spectrum. What it is I would like to urge my viewers, we all understand the origin of the virus. No one is oblivious to that. But let's not focus on imaging to liken this group with only that. Now the world is affected by it. So in my understanding of illness, especially when it's reached a global scope, illness comes about because of various issues. It eventuates, or the end product comes through physically or resonates as a physical symptom. But illness has been created prior to that. And I'm not trying to move responsibility for implementing various processes and systems in order to combat this situation from the place of origin. What it is I'm saying is, if it has reached a global scope, it's become a pandemic. We all have contributed to it. The human consciousness has. So, in accepting responsibility, discrimination is not the way to find a solution or resolution to a dysfunction. We've gone through various periods where illnesses have come and gone, maybe attributed to certain places of origin or cultural groups, or just certain systems in place that may have failed or overlooked various vital, let's say, vital information in order to enable a system to function in an optimum way or just adequately. But what it is I find is that in any given situation, whether it's a global situation that we're looking at now, or whether you look at your function at home, if something doesn't go right as we perceive it that it should, or if a system is failing, pointing is not going to resolve it quickly. An acceptance of what is happening is essential, and with that acceptance, the human being is able to open up to various ways to find a resolution. So, as I believe and as I always view life, sometimes when it's too huge an issue to understand, I scale it down. So, this is a global issue, so scale it down. Putting pictures of Asians is going to create angst within a community toward this cultural group. The issue is that the way to go now? We have a problem, a global problem. So creating another issue adds to it. In terms of healing, if you look at the universe not just as a form that is just there to house us, if you look at the universe as the traditionalists look at it, also as indigenous cultural groups from various areas of the world view it, country folk view it, it's a holistic living. So whereby we view the universe or our earth as a living being. So if there are issues in, or there's a dysfunction in our earth, or in the components that make up earth, which is also humans, earth, look, the universe is an intelligent being, and that is proven in many situations, and if you look at studies, but this is not a place for that. But what it is I'm saying is, earth innately or unconsciously, or consciously as well, understands there is an underlying dysfunction. The people who are going through this this experience, which is global, put out an energy that is alerting the universe that there is something dysfunctional going on. The universe comes to a healing focus immediately. In fact, prior to that, allowing every component that makes up the earth, let's look at the earth, but it's universal, to open up or connect to a particular energy of focus in order to bring to themselves the process of healing. Or if you're not the one specifically going through the illness, you are also in a way ill, because we're codependent. But if you're not going through the actual symptoms of illness, you're open to unconsciously or consciously be of service to the universe. So we look at the moment the medical practitioners, specialists, working day and night to resolve this issue or this dysfunction, and sometimes we feel like we're not able to do much, or we're fearful. But what it is that I believe I inspire my audience to do is to connect to that feeling, whatever you're going through now, not to ignore it, because there is always, the universe is communicating constantly. The earth is communicating in order to enable the components that make it up to resolve the issue immediately, quickly. There is a resolution. We are intelligent beings. It's not only the doctors who can resolve this issue. We all can, in our ways. So this is just really, for me, reaching out to my audience, not to discriminate. That's all. Thank you. I'm Joyce Okello from Inner Tuition Life.